so I can run out there and turn it up.
Shabbat Shalom. And welcome to the first Friday of the month of June here at Addith Emmanuel, for those of us who are joining in person, as well as those who are with us this evening through the blessing of technology. And if you are here remotely, I invite you to say Shabbat Shalom in the chat and share where it is you're joining us this evening. And we are so delighted that it's our custom on the first Friday of the month that we have members of our Habonim youth choir leading us in our music. And while it might look like they are on a stage and we're in the audience, that's not the case at all. They are here to lead us, and that means it's our opportunity to sing with them. So we turn now to our opening song, which is Hine Ma Tov, page 128 in the brackets. Turn now in our prayer books to page 120 and 121 as we continue with the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles. It's my pleasure to call forward Orly Uday and Hannah Foster to lead us in our lighting and blessing.
Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. And so we turn now in our Siddur to page 123, as we continue with Kiddush. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Peri Hagafen L'chaim. And we turn now in our prayer books to page 603, as we have the opportunity to bless one another. And what is super cool about blessing one another is this blessing in the middle of page 603 finds its origin in this week's Torah portion. In our Torah portion, Naso, we find these words in the Torah. So if you're here with your children, or maybe your grandchildren, or someone in a generation below you, you might want to put your hands on their head or their shoulders and offer them this blessing. And if you're not here with somebody who's a different generation, but we consider ourselves all part of the Jewish community and we want to offer blessing to one another, we can hold hands or put hands on each other's shoulders and offer this blessing to one another, as we say in Hebrew, then English. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. And let us say, Amen. And we turn now in our Siddur to welcome in Shabbat with song on page 138. 138 in the brackets, we sing Lecha Dodi. And while we're standing, we take a moment to turn to someone, perhaps not the person next to you if you already know that person, but maybe in front of you, behind you, across the way. Be sure to introduce yourselves to one another as we greet one another. Shabbat Shalom. And if you're joining us through the blessing of technology, we say hello to you as well, and you can say Shabbat Shalom in the chat. And we can continue these conversations following our service at our Oneg Shabbat. We turn now to our song card for Baruch Hu. So if you have a yellow or blue song card, you can turn to that. And as you're able, I invite you to remain standing or to rise for Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Further down, we see the words of Shema by Josh Nelson.
I am here, I am now, asking when, asking how. Only I, only I. Fill my heart, still my soul. I am part of this whole. I will sing out my soul to the one.
Seated. As we turn now to our prayer books, page 268, page 268 for Ve'ahavta. Turn now in our prayer book to page 270 as we continue with our prayer of miracles, our prayer for freedom, Mi Chamocha.
Mika Mocha.
We continue on page 271. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. As we're able, we rise in body and spirit for tefillah, page 273.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu.
be seated. On page 281, we continue responsively with this prayer for gratitude. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And we turn now our prayer to silent meditation. We might be led by the words on the pages of our Siddur, like the prayer for peace on page 282, or an inward prayer on page 283, or we might look at other prayers throughout the prayer book, or we might just turn inward, maybe even closing our eyes, taking a deep breath in and out, and reflecting on those meditations and thoughts in our hearts.
Oh, says Shalom Bimrama. Huya say Shalom Aleinu. Ve'ako Israel. Ve'ako Yoshvei Teben. Ve'imru.
We turn our thoughts and our prayers now to those who are in need of healing, and we also think of those kinds of ways our own country and Israel are in need of healing. We think of a healing of the body, a physical healing, but there's also a healing of the mind and the spirit. And so if you're joining us through the blessing of technology, and you're thinking of individuals who are in need of healing, I invite you to add those names to the chat at this time. I share with you the names of these people in our extended Addith Emmanuel family who are in need of healing. Marcia Jenoff, Linda Lutz, Avraham Aharon Ben Bluma, Craig Baxter, Jeff Green, Lucas Corcoran, Noah Hyun, and the whole Lenape High School community. Karen and Lou Diamond and the entire community affected by the attack in Boulder. I'll just mention that the Diamonds are friends of my parents' friends. There's always fewer than 6 degrees separation when it comes to the Jewish community. Rav Eliyahu Yisrael, Ben Bluma Leah, Avraham Ber, Stacy Sulzberg, Bob Epifano, Melissa Krasner, Carol Ann Ettinger, Ellen Blah, Anita Caruto, Jay Frank, Gina Hutchinson, Dee Dee Humphreys, Rav Chana Bat Moshe Ra'iza Itzka, Krista Mora, Michelle Dash, Sarah Gardner, Shelley Pedito, Audrey Pomerantz, Edward Caprol, Bob Levine, Barbara Savage, Ava Mack, Zev Kane, Tristan Sheehan, Terry Bittman, David Ebb, Jocelyn Jackson, Ethan Cheskis, Mary Lou Salvador, Chris Cheney, Philip Lutz, Jerry Dreskin, Yochanan Ben Yehudit, Merrill Green, Joe Wright, Libby Barsky, Malcolm Fletcher, Ellen Bertuglia, Mindy Fisher, Harry Greenberg, Nick Bod, Deb Nielsen, Moshe Ben Elizabeth the Theodore, Jennifer Ness, Harriet Eisner, Chaim Ben David, Hugh Morton, Art Bond, Roberta Levine, Jordan Steinberg, Jeff Schaefer, Michael Infante, Gary Garnick, Rick Ulrich, Ileana Cohn. And if there are others whose names you would like to share aloud for those who are here in the sanctuary, I invite you as you're able to rise and say those names aloud as my hand passes through the congregation. We continue with our Misha Berach prayer on page 371 in the middle of the page. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim.
Mishabeira imotenu mikor habrecha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And since it is the first Friday of the month of June, it's my pleasure to call to the Bima all those who are celebrating a birthday or anniversary or special life event this month of June. Maybe it's a graduation, something else. Come on up to the Bima. joining us through the blessing of technology, you might choose to stand wherever you are. God of our days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of those celebrating their birthdays, their anniversaries, and other special life events during this month of June. God, be with them always as the joy of their lives. May they be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. May they have the joy of coming together for many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. And may these milestone events remind us that as we may count the days in our lives, a person of wisdom makes every day count. And so, God, we join together in our prayer of gratitude, the Shechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Simen tov u'mazel tov v'simen tov, simen tov u'mazel tov v'simen tov, simen tov u'mazel tov v'simen tov, Yehelanu, 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 u'leko Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, u'leko Yisrael. Simen tov u'mazel tov v'simen tov, simen tov u'mazel tov v'simen tov, simen tov u'mazel tov v'simen tov, Yehelanu.
Next coming is the Erev Emmanuel Dance Troupe. And so I'm going to share with you a story, so I invite all our children to join on the stairs for our story. And anyone else who wants to, just as those who wanted to join to dance, those who wanted to sit on the bima for the story are most welcome. So I want to tell you a story about a kingdom that was called Paradise. Now, the name of this kingdom was called Paradise not because it was super beautiful or everyone there was super rich. The reason why it was called Paradise was because of the way people treated each other. Any friend would help out another friend, even before they asked, but if they saw that they were in need, a friend helped a friend. And a neighbor would give a hand to another neighbor without even thinking twice about it. And strangers who came through the kingdom, they were all welcomed so warmly. Now, why was paradise such a paradise? Well, it really was because of the king. The king was the type of man who he would listen to people when they said they had a problem. He would listen, and he would help them out. And so he set an example for people to help one another. Well, as happens, kings grow old, and the king did indeed grow old. And before he died, he said to his son, the prince, "My son, the prince, I appoint you as the next king. Be sure to be wise and kind to others." Soon after, as it would happen, the king died, and sure enough, the prince became the new ruler of the kingdom. But the prince wasn't like his dad. He wasn't so wise and he wasn't so kind. And so when people had problems, he didn't listen and help out the way his dad did. I'll give you an example. One time, a group of his advisors ran up to the king and they said, "King, we have a problem in a corner of your kingdom. There's a famine and people are starving. They have no food." And the prince, I'm going to call him the prince so you know the difference between the prince and the king. And the prince says, "Oh, they have no food," as he grabbed a nice juicy apple and took a bite. "Well, I have plenty of food." "No, you don't understand," his advisor said. "There are people who are starving. Children are going to die if they don't get food." And he said, "Well, I have plenty of food. It's not my problem." Well, his advisors were trying to get him to understand, but he had none of it. And just as they left, another group of advisors came in and said, "Oh, Prince, oh, Your Majesty, there's a group of people who live by a river, and the river has been poisoned, so those people in that part of the kingdom have no water to drink." No water? And then he took and he poured from a pitcher into a cup. "I have plenty of water," and took a nice long sip. "No, you don't understand. These people without water, they won't be able to survive." And he said, "I have water. They don't. It's not my problem." And it went on and on like this. And it got so bad that not only was the prince acting this way, but it filtered into the rest of the kingdom. So much so that friends weren't helping friends. Neighbors weren't lending a hand, and forget about strangers. Instead, they said, "It's not my problem." And so it was that everybody forgot what paradise was like. Everyone, that is, except for fishermen. Fishermen remembered the old king. He remembered what it was like when people helped out one another. And he had to do something, but what is it? And then he had an idea. He sold all that he could, and he bought all the supplies, and he took one of his own boats, and he refinished it. And he built it even bigger until he created this huge yacht. A yacht that could hold everyone in the kingdom, and he started working on it, and people came by. They were curious. "What are you doing, fisherman?" He said, "Well, I'm building this yacht." "Oh, will we be able to get a ride?" He said, "Yes, when it's done, everybody will be invited to take a ride out in the lake." And so it was. After a year's time, the yacht was finished. And the fisherman put up a sign, said, "All are welcome to join us in this yacht's first voyage." And everybody came down, even the prince. And so they all went on aboard the finished yacht. And it was a beautiful day. The sun was out, but there were little clouds to allow for some shade, not too hot. And they took the boat out, the yacht out into the middle of the lake. There, fisherman dropped his anchor, and people took out their picnic lunches, they took out their fishing rods, and had just a lovely afternoon. But then, as the sun was starting to set, it began to cool down, the wind picked up, and you could feel the waves a little bit. And people said, "Hey, fisherman, is it okay if we go home now?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, just one thing. I wanted to do one more thing before we go back to shore." And so what did he do? He pulled out his hand drill. Yes, his hand drill. Now, if you've ever seen those hand beaters, that's the way you do it, right? And then the drill goes in the hole. And he went to right in the middle, the center of the yacht, and he put his drill down, and he started the drill. And the people all of a sudden started, now if you know the ending, don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't give away the ending to your neighbor. Started to drill. And the people are like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He said, I'm drilling a hole." "Why are you drilling?" It's a beautiful day. Why not drill? And he kept going. And the people got scared and frightened, and they're shouting and crying, and all this ruckus caught the attention of the prince, and he went over and he said, in his most commanding, princely majesty king voice, "Fishermen, what are you doing?" "I'm drilling a hole in my boat, my yacht." "Why are you doing such a thing?" It's a lovely day for drilling. I want to." "But don't you understand?" And now the prince was getting a little bit worried himself. Some of the commanding voice trickled away, and he got worried. It's like, "But don't you understand? If you drill a hole, then the boat will fill with water and we'll all drown, and I don't want to drown, and I don't want to get eaten by the fish." And you could see that in the prince's voice, he was no longer, all his royalty had fallen apart. And he was like just a fearful person. And once finally he was crying like everyone else, that's when the fisherman said, "You mean you don't want to drown? You don't want the fish to eat you?" "No, I don't." And that's when the fisherman said, "It's my boat, it's my yacht, it's my drill. It's not my problem." And then the prince said, "What do you mean it's not your problem? Don't you see, if I have a problem, you have a problem? And if anyone has a problem, everyone has a problem. Don't you understand? We all have a problem because we are all in the same boat." And a light bulb went off above the prince's head. Oh, if I have a problem, you have a problem. And if anyone has a problem, everyone has a problem. We all have the same problem because we are all in the same boat. And the prince realized how he had been. And at that point, that is when fishermen stopped drilling. He pulled up anchor, moved the boat smoothly and safely to shore, and everyone went back on land. And from that point on, never again did the prince say, "It's not my problem." If someone came to him, he would listen, and he would try to solve the problem. And if he couldn't, at least he would listen carefully. And friends, once again, were helping friends without asking. Neighbors lent a hand to each other, and strangers were welcome back into a kingdom, which of course was fulfilling its name, known as the Kingdom of Paradise. The end. And so we turn now in our prayer book to pages 586 and 587. As we are able, we rise for Aleinu, let us adore.
Let us adore the ever-living God, and render praise unto God, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, and whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. Adonai is our God, there is none else. Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei amlachim ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
May be seated. Our thoughts turn now to those who are no longer with us, and so we turn in our Siddur to pages 598 and 599 as we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We announce with sadness the death of Joel Weiner, father of Ben Weiner and Sarah, grandmother of Molly and Claudia. The service will be on Sunday at 9 a.m. You can check your email for the information. And we think of those who have died in recent days and weeks during this period of Shiva and Shloshim. Jacob Swan, dear friend to many at Lenape High School. Yaron Lashinsky, Sarah Lynn Milgram, as well as those who died at the season in years past, whose yahrzeits are observed on the Shabbat: Ida Cohen, Sylvia Envers, Simon Glogauer, Sally Goodman, Larry Levine, Harvey Matheson, Mildred Malovsky, T. Nguyen, William Nonis, Marcella Rudolph, Harold Rudolph, Leonard Sussman, Gabriel Schriftgeiser, Barry Zaleski. If you're joining us through the blessing of technology and are thinking of loved ones who are no longer here and wish to, you may add their names to the chat at this time. If you're here in the sanctuary and have other names that you'd like to add, I invite you, as you're able, to rise and say those names aloud as my hand passes through the congregation. We think of those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own, those for whom there is no one to say Kaddish. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for blessing as we invite those who are in the period of Shiva or Shloshim or in the first year of mourning to rise. Be seated. It's my pleasure to welcome to the Bima Doug Richter, our synagogue president, to share some Hodaot.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight, in person and online. Thank you, Rabbi, Cantor Sandy, and Lucas, as well as our youth choir members, for leading tonight's service. Tomorrow, as usual, we've got Torah Talk and Bagels at 8:45, followed by Simply Shabbat at 10 a.m. And just a reminder that this Sunday, June 8th at 9:30 a.m. is the congregational meeting to approve our new budget and the new Board of Trustees and some other business. And that is in the social hall, and there will be some bagels and schmear afterward. And later on Sunday, there's the Mahjong tournament celebrating the memory of Charlotte Elner. Coming up in a couple of weeks on June 22nd at 11 a.m. is the Willingboro Reunion Brunch for anybody who's been a member since the days prior to us moving here in August of '97. And last, Social Action is having an allergy-friendly food drive for June for the JFCS. So please bring in gluten-free, nut-free, or dairy-free items Kosher is preferred but not mandatory. And that's all I have for announcements. Again, please keep checking the weekly emails and our website for upcoming events. And please join us in the social hall after services for Oneg. Shabbat Shalom.
For anyone who's interested and has children or knows somebody who has children in grades 1 through 6, sign up for the youth choir for next year is open. So when you're signing your child up for religious school, you can have them join our choir as well. Okay. So for our closing song, hint, hint, for our closing song, we're going to be doing Ufaratsta, and I encourage you, as we go through the whole song, while it seems silly and fun, is a blessing. Every line is a blessing. So I encourage you to find someone around you and give them a blessing and turn to them and say, may you be, and wish a blessing on those around you. For the chorus at the end, we are all going to rise to sing the last chorus, and then we will sing Oseh Shalom into the social hall so we can all do Motzi together. Everybody have that straight? Excellent.
On your song cards. Oseh Shalom, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'Al Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. 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 Shalom Aleinu V'Al Yisrael. Please join me in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.